guys, welcome to my channel. It's Crystal. I hope you guys have been enjoying my travel series in Korea, Japan, and most recently Mexico. And guess what? Today we have another Cancun video. I honestly don't have the typical vlog style format that I usually have for this one because I really tried to live in the moment and experience. Of course, I got footage here and there, but I really thought that I would use this video to talk about my experience and the details of the resort, what was included, what wasn't, and all of that, just for more like an informational type of video with my vlogs here and there. So that's what you can expect. If you're planning on a trip to Cancun anytime soon, or you're staying in Paradisus, which is where we stayed at, take notes. So Paradisus, or Paradisus as they call it locally, is about a 20 to 25 minute drive from the Cancun airport and is located in Cancun's hotel zone. It's also known as the Pyramid Hotel because it's literally 5 pyramids together. And I think it's pretty unique in the hotel zone just because of the architecture. The property is huge and really has this Amazonian vibe to it with the lush greens and plants hanging down from top to bottom. The entire resort is full of live plants, so you get pretty good fresh air. We booked the Reserve Experience, which is the resort's adult-only experience. And I'll share more about what's included as part of the Reserve guest in a little bit. But everyone who books through the Reserve gets to stay in Tower 5 or Pyramid 5. It's definitely more isolated compared to the rest of the property. It also has a cafe that serves pastries, little bites, coffee, and drinks, but they also serve food.
We have some fruits, chia pudding, and then coffee. I also got some waffles. So you can actually order at the cafe here besides the ones over there in the stand.
Good morning, Timmy.
Oh, ginger bar, yeah.
Yeah. Every night, different.
Oh. 예쁘다. This is actually so good. A really cool concept. Apparently the bartender is from the Ginger Bar, which is a bar upstairs. He has to come down here to the Reserve area for every single night and create a different cocktail. So today it's this one. I forgot the name of it, but it's really good. We didn't get to enjoy these parts of the hotel, but it also has a 24-hour gym, a spa, a tennis court, a golf course. It's 9-hole, 3-par course, so it's a lot smaller towards the entrance of the resort, but still, they have that. There's also this lobby area. I think it's like a bar here, but I'm not sure if it's being used right now. But regardless, they have a bunch of beds around here. You can get a good view. Like my parents are already getting their photos in.
Now let's talk about the room. Oh, you also get this bracelet, which is your key for the entire stay, and you can't take it off. So when you first get it, make sure you have like a little room, because if it's too tight, it's just gonna be a hassle. You have to go back downstairs to get it removed, and then they have to create a new one for you. Like, it's your entire key. It didn't bother me at all, but I'm a bracelet and accessory person, so maybe that's why. I know it bothered my brother and my dad a little bit because they had it a little too tight, but the room, pretty straightforward. I wouldn't say super amazing or mind-blowing. You get the lagoon view or ocean view, depending on whatever you want. So we're staying at 5214, and it's a restroom, toilet, shower. Ta-da! Here's the room. And then, and here's the balcony. We get like a pool and an ocean view along with the other rooms. We actually booked the Junior Suite Lagoon View and had to ask for a room change after our first night because I couldn't sleep that night. The Lagoon View, at least where we were, there was a club like across the resort, and it's still a little far away, but you can see the club, and it was so loud, like
all night, the entire room I felt like was vibrating, and I'm not being dramatic. It was pretty loud. So we asked for a room change and ended up getting a different one, which was so much more quiet. Okay, now let's talk about what's actually included in the reserve experience. So we stayed for 3 nights and booked 3 rooms. We had 2 days where we got 2 valley beds, which is like the cabanas that you would see at the beach. It's like the fully covered cabanas. Super nice. I know when we stayed at Hyatt Ziva, those were almost $300 for the whole day. This one I think was also, it was like $200 or $250, but we had those for 2 days from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Technically, because we booked 3 different rooms, I really feel like they should have given us 3. It didn't really hit us until the last day, and we were like, wait, my brother had his entire room to himself, so he should have gotten one on his own, right? We have these right here, the 20 and 21, or 21 and 20. So exciting. These are actually better than the ones directly in front of the beach, like right here, because it doesn't really cover the sunlight if you're there. But here, you still get a good amount of sun and the shade, and eventually just shade completely. So they also have these little bowls. You can wash your feet after the beach, get off all the sand before you go up. You also get a concierge, and he greeted us from the beginning of the trip and helped us during the entire stay. Now, our guy was Jose. He was great. Oh, it's kind of dark, but thank you so much for helping us.
You're welcome. See you next time.
He's the best. You communicate with him primarily through WhatsApp, but he also checks on you like during the day. But he was always responsive on WhatsApp and communicated with us the entire day. Like every morning, he would send me this itinerary that had the full day schedule, which restaurants are available for lunch and for dinner and breakfast. And he was super helpful. I think we got really lucky. He also helped us make reservations, which is a reserve-only privilege apparently, because a lot of these restaurants are walk-in. Some of the restaurants, like Lemon Fish, which I'll talk about later, is more popular, and it's nice if you have that reservation. There's already a line, and it's not even 6 yet. And as a reserved guest, you have that privilege. So that was nice to take advantage of. Besides what the concierge sends you and what you see on the screens in your room, there's also an app that you can download, and it has like basic information about the hotel's restaurants, but some of these were outdated information as well. So I definitely took advantage of asking every single question that I had to Jose, and he was super on top of it. There's a bunch of these programs throughout the resort. Actually, I only saw like 2, but it tells you exactly what kind of activities are happening throughout the day. You also get access to the reserve-only pool, obviously only reserved for the reserve guests. Definitely noticed a big difference when we stopped by the main pool for some tacos during lunch, which was so good, by the way. Yeah. It's like a swim-up bar right here. Yeah, it's kind of cool. You can get like a drink later. We definitely enjoyed our peace and just less congestion in the reserve-only pool. Plus, since we had the cabanas, which we were not expecting, honestly, that was not communicated to us until we got there. So we're like, wow, this was a pleasant surprise. So all we did was just go back from the beach to the pool, to the beach to the pool and the cabana, take a nap, back to the beach, back to the pool. I think that was the best part of the reserve, and we definitely got our money's worth if you just think about that. Also, as a reserved guest, you get 1 dinner included at the Sal Steakhouse, which is the only restaurant that is not included in the all-inclusive package at the hotel. This is also where we celebrated Tommy's birthday because it was the day of, and we made reservations 2 days before. The dinner includes everything from entrees, main course, desserts, and drinks, and there are, of course, like a la carte items and a la carte drinks, and you can also use the food and beverage credit, which I'll talk about next right after this point. But other than that, everything basic and one whole dinner is included for the reserved guests only. So upon check-in, we received this coupon book that gave us a $50 room upgrade, $30 spa credit, and $15 food and beverage credit. But honestly, we didn't end up using any of it. It's obviously a strategy to get you to spend more money, right? Because no massage is gonna be like $30. They're a minimum of $150 and $200 and up. And a $30 credit does help a little bit, but not a lot, right? And even for the room upgrade, we had a lagoon view, so you have that option to upgrade to an ocean view room. And because we had that $50 room credit, we could have used it. But we actually tried to, and when we went the next day, it was a full weekend, so they didn't have anything available. So like we couldn't have used it anyway. That's why I feel like it wasn't really worth for us. But we had more than enough to take advantage at the resort already, and so many things were included. So we didn't necessarily have to. We're actually going on a shopping tour. That's a part of the package that we have. They're taking us to like 4 different spots, and it's just like a little tour throughout the day. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. All right, now food. Paradisus has 9 restaurants with 7 bars. We obviously did not get to go to every single restaurant on the property just because a lot of them were actually only limited for dinners and we only had so many nights. So for dinner, we actually got to try Lemon Fish, which was a Japanese Peruvian restaurant, which is at the center of the main pyramid. And the seats are super cool because you're in this wooden area that's also kind of private, but they're like floating villages. We also tried the Sal Steakhouse, as I mentioned earlier, and they probably had the best food, I would say, out of all the restaurants we've tried. For the buffet, I would recommend going probably just for breakfast. I'm not sure about lunch, but dinner was good. We also got to try Blue Agave for breakfast and lunch, which was a Mexican restaurant. And during lunch, they only sell tacos and quesadillas, so FYI. The Agua Marina, this one I would recommend going for dinner if you can instead of lunch. The reason for that is that it's right by the main pool, and I guess everyone orders their food and it comes out of Agua Marina. So there were a lot of people in the restaurant, but it was also like during lunchtime in general. So a lot of people were ordering, and I can see the kitchen staff constantly sending food out to the people in the main pool instead of focusing on the people who were actually sitting down at the restaurant. So that's something I would keep in mind if you do go for lunch. Also, menu-wise, I thought the dinner menu was a lot better than the lunch menu, so FYI. Now, the reserve area, they also had one restaurant, Sante. This was an adults-only restaurant, and I don't think it was limited to reserved guests only, but it was like an adults-only restaurant. This one had an amazing view of the beach, and since we primarily stayed at the reserve pool, this was perfect and convenient. The ones we didn't get to try were, I have my notes here. Cielo and Flora. There was also Mezcal Zone, which is right across Agua Marina. It was really more like a walk-up pizza spot right next to the pool. They also had like an ice cream stand right next to it and this taco vendor. Oh my god, this taco vendor. And they don't serve it every single day. Oh my god, this taco was bomb. It was the best that I've ever had in Mexico so far, and probably just all throughout the resort property, this one was the best. And the family agreed. It was so good. I believe there's like a taco stand. Oh yes, tacos. I see them. Last but not least, let's talk about transportation. Whew. So we booked our transportation to and from the airport round trip. It was $75, and this was my first time actually prepaying and booking a shuttle in advance for Cancun. But I did that because the resort does not have a shuttle included. Although the concierge can definitely arrange and book a shuttle service for you from the property, but the hotel itself doesn't have one. Now, lots to say about this shuttle service, and I'm sure everyone has their own experiences, good and bad. I saw a bunch of different reviews after my experience, but I'm just sharing mine, so just take note. So when you originally book through Expedia, you give them the flight information so they can know when we're arriving. They had an Expedia rep who was waiting for us, which we checked in with her, and then she called our driver. Even when we waited like a good hour, like I was still willing to let that one go. Like, it's okay. But the problem was the trip back, and I'm not letting this one go. So I never received an email confirmation on the information for the pickup from the hotel back to the airport on the last day. She gave me this separate number that was not listed on the email confirmation, and it was a WhatsApp number that was local. So she said, communicate with this person for the pickup time, whatever. Starting that night, I tried to reach this person. Doesn't exist. Truly doesn't exist. Like, this person does not exist. I tried to contact a number that was on Expedia and the shuttle service number, a 24/7 number that is not 24/7. Tried to contact them through WhatsApp, and also my hotel concierge tried to help me contact them on his own at his own time for the next 3 days. Sent them an email, the email bounced back, doesn't exist. So the concierge and I both tried to reach them through so many different methods and every single possible way you can think of. Crickets.
3 days later.
Jose calls me and he informs me that they finally answered and they're coming at 11. And this was like 9:30 and we're like, what? Why are they coming at 11? That's so early. First of all, that's not going to work because we still have a few hours left at the resort. Also, where is my notification that it was coming at 11? No voicemail, no calls, no messages, no email, nothing. How would I exactly have known about when they were coming to pick us up? Of course, they bust out their 48-hour policy for any changes or cancellations. I've been trying to reach you guys for 72 hours. This was already pre-booked, so I was really annoyed, but also I had a feeling that they were just not gonna really give us a refund, and I know Expedia isn't also gonna do anything. They're just gonna constantly go back and forth blaming each other to request a refund. So we just cut our trip short and left for the airport, and we stayed at the airport for so much longer than we really should have. So lesson learned in that area, but I did look at this company specifically and there were a lot of reviews, so I guess I wasn't the only one. But just FYI, if you are looking for booking a shuttle service, keep that in mind. Anyways, that was my recap on my 3 nights at PARADISUS CANCUN. Overall, definitely enjoyed the stay. My family loved it and it was amazing. Definitely do not regret the reserve experience. I think it was really worth it for everything that was included and just the calm, peace, serenity that came with the extra money. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Só deixou as roupas do varal, os limão do quintal e a pasta impermeável com os documentos. Eu disse à filha, como é que vai ser? Ela disse, não sei o que fazer. Vem pra cá, bota ela no avião.